This is a delisted presentation of Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, the game, created by Ubisoft Montreal and released August 10th, 2010 for PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360. It was created by, among many, many other people, as you'll see in the credits, Jonathan Lavigne and Jean-Francois Major and Justin Cyr, who left Ubisoft to create Tribute Games, and later created Wizorb, Mercenary Kings, Curses and Chaos, and the upcoming Ninja Senkai DX in 2011, that were founded in 2011. This right here is probably why this game was delisted. It's presumably some licensing agreement between Universal, Oni Press, Brian Lee O'Malley, Anna Managuchi, who did the music, or just a end of a deal with those guys who left to create Tribute Games. I don't know if there was some kind of deal that they may have struck. It's always a mystery. The game was delisted on or around December 30th or 31st, 2014, alongside Marvel vs. Capcom Origins and Uno Rush on Xbox 360 platforms. There's a lot going on in this game. There's a lot of mechanics and a lot of multiplayer stuff that I've never really gotten into because no one was interested in playing this game with me at the time that it came out. It only had local single console multiplayer. There was supposed to be online multiplayer, and that was a point of contention. The bad blood, the bad news about this game is that it was delayed from 2010 until March 12th of 2013. Nearly 3 years later, and the game finally received its last playable character, which was Wallace, and online multiplayer, which is not ideal for a game's release. I imagine that was around the time that most of the people split to form Tribute Games. I personally like playing as Kim, but for the sake of this video, for posterity's sake, if I never come back and play through more of this game, I thought I should stick with Scott. And as you've seen before, there's levels, there's stats that increase, there are items you can get that give you a timed boost. We'll get to that later on when I finally get to the area with the shops. And there are about 1 million homages and references to video games and classic arcade beat-em-ups. Largely from the Simpsons arcade game. At least those are the ones that I pick up on. One of the interesting mechanics is this juggling multiplayer, which you can kind of see in effect there. It's real easy to throw an object and then keep hitting it and juggle stuff back and forth as it hits people or bounces off people, and you can get a ton of bonus money out of it. just one player, it's real easy to get boxed in, and then guys just like constantly block. But it still feels real great to juggle stuff back and forth. And there's a lot of doors and secret areas that I don't know if it's on purpose or not, but they're kind of hard to spot. Like the shops coming up. And of course this area, like the secret areas, it makes sense they would be hard to spot, but the doorways to the stores, you wouldn't know you could go in unless you just happen to push up near one and you walk inside. And this, of course, is like a secret area, but it's also like a busted, corrupt data kind of rainbow road that's usually full of bonuses. And yes, I went back because at this point I felt like I had missed the shops. I had a bunch of money and I figured I should have run into the shop by now, so I stumbled backwards into this snowball fight sequence, which kind of sums up a lot of this game. There's a lot of padding, and the movement, even when you're not dashing, just walking around, is very slow. I guess it's not designed to be an arcade game and steal your quarters. There's no time limit or anything in this game. So it can take its time. It just feels kind of weird as a game that's so, like, wholeheartedly one of those old games. To not go all the way and have timers and little fingers pointing saying, keep moving. So then you get into these fights where it's okay that the computer can block because you're not keeping anybody from pumping more quarters into this game. You don't have to destroy people nonstop. And there is, in those menus that I skipped through in the beginning of the video, there are plenty of tutorial screens about how to deal with blocks and counters, and I will level up again soon here and unlock a counter, which I never ever remember to use until I get knocked down. Really wanted to get the money out of that parking meter, and then I stumble into the shop before I grab it all. But you can buy all kinds of items to get your health back. There are other drinks like this, I think it's the coffee. Shows up now under snack in my stats and gives you a boost. Whether it's making you run faster or making you tougher for a certain amount of time. There are all kinds of little bonuses. And then coming up is, not here, coming up is the bookstore, where you can buy things to increase like how quick you get experience, or like an experience multiplier, how much money you get from guys that you beat up. And in the background there was the sun from Super Mario Bros. 3. I remembered that going down, you end up getting run over by a bunch of buses or something, so I stuck high. There's still dudes that run in, and yes, I did just take damage from that traffic cone. I don't remember why I paused here. Still plenty of stuff to do up here, though. I'm also running back here because I remembered there was another secret area right here where the star door is. But I forgot that it's Wallace's shop and everything is really expensive. These are the upgrades that you really want to buy, and this is the stuff that comes into play playing through these stages over and over again. So eventually you would never have this much money at this point in the game, but by the second or third time you might play through, you would have enough stockpiled to buy some of those upgrades. And I forget exactly what they do, but they're all useful. Here is another super referential subspace area. I think that's a Time Bandits reference back there, and of course Mario blocks. And here's some of the other kind of plotting stuff. I just gotta walk around and get all of these little nickels and dimes. I have to nickel and dime myself. Of course, coin blocks from Mario. And the first boss fight. If this were the first time I was playing this game, I would lose all of my lives on this guy, probably about 3 times in a row, before I managed to finally beat him. It's only because I've done this fight plenty of times, even now, years after I had played it originally, or last played it. I did forget about these little succubi that he summons. And that's one of the... I guess you've probably seen it up to now. Like, it's real easy to just get destroyed in this game. By just random dudes on the street, but also by bosses. They don't give you a whole lot of time to figure out the pattern before they completely destroy you, and so that is why I have never finished this game. I, at one point, had been back through all the stages like 3 times leveling up, and each time could get closer and closer on the final boss, but had never been able to beat it. And by then, geez, like, the Xbox One was coming out. No, it wasn't that late. Didn't take me that long to get through it. But I definitely kind of moved on. These guys are absolute jerks. This is what I'm talking about, this game just being kind of cheap at times. Especially with one person. If there were 4 people to split this punishment with, it may not be quite so bad, but it is frustrating, and it only stacks on from here. And then there are genuinely cool scenes like this where the blue screen breaks down and the motion capture guys burst out of the background and the director is despondent. I don't know if that's all references from the comic, but it's pretty good. It adds some nice little touches to the game to help combat the frustration. And here's your Street Fighter minigame. I was hitting it with this briefcase because I wanted to break it open. I thought for sure it was going to be full of money, but it wasn't. And here is another mechanic that comes into play several times throughout the game. These keys that you can pick up and use as weapons. A lot of them are unlock chests, like we'll see in a minute here. I think it might even be this next screen. Oh geez, that is some rumbly bass. Here's your Ninja Turtles reference. Nice. Get away from those rolling balls, gosh. There are definitely some doors and some secrets and things later in the game that you need a key for that I can't even remember finding a key that I could use. But it gets to be that stuff where you have to make sure you don't lose the key off the side of a pit or end up throwing it off the screen in order to get the secret. I spent too much time opening that treasure chest and then getting stuck on that whatever up there, and I did not escape. And that is game over, so we will stop here. And do the usual delisted thing, take a look at all the features. Anything else that's left here. I didn't know anyone who played this game. And here is your requisite gargantuan-sized Ubisoft credit roll. Not only because of all the Ubisoft internal studios, but all of the licensing involved. that was your long Ubisoft credits list. This is something I'd done earlier in the video, but as you can see, it took a lot of time for not a lot of result here. This is the PlayStation Store interface, basically confirming that the DLC has been deleted along with the game. So you cannot get the Knives DLC or the Wallace DLC. Although, as you can see here down the list, the trophies still exist for the DLC packs. They have the little plus symbol. And here's a run-through of all the trophies in the game, which are pretty hard to get. So that'll do it for this look at Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, the game. Thanks for watching, and look for some more delisted content coming soon. Or check out the playlist that this video should be in, and you should be able to find a whole lot of the previous delisted videos. Thanks for watching.